Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, where today we are going to be discussing the fact that we are going to take the worst blood code in the game for stamina consumption and stamina topping levels, and we are going to remove our stamina requirement in a sense by using gifts. And you might think, well, what kind of ichor recovery are you going to have on a blood code like Warrior, where it only has a willpower of B? Well, if you pair it up with the Ruinous Chevalier, we have a drain rating of 1.0, which gives us a 9 ichor on backstab or parry ability, so that is incredible considering the fact that we have a base value of 10 ichor. So we can pretty much fill up our entire ichor amount every single time we get a backstab. If we do find ourselves in such a position where we are missing out on ichor, we can get an extra 4.5 per parry or backstab with the Devour Chrome. So that is a possibility that we can be looking forward to. The other idea here is that we are going to have a very hefty dark value, and so we will be able to use great ability here called Bloodsucking Blades, and every two-handed greatsword is at a drain rating of plus or 0.6, and so now if we just use Bloodsucking Blades, we are now at 1.16, so it's almost a doubling of our drain rating. So, and then if we use this guy as well, Hunting Feast, we're at 1.75, so almost a tripling of our drain rating on our weapons. And so that means that if we were recovering 1 ichor per attack before, now we are recovering 3. So that is the level of ichor recovery we're going to have on weapon and our blood veil. Now, a wonderful thing here is that we do have some pretty hefty defenses all around, plus some very good, we're about a little over 1/3 defense of full fireproofing, and so we will have some pretty good defense against the fire boys, but we do need some pretty decent defense overall, because there are fellas in here that do damage without fire. So it's good that we have a little bit of a generalized defense structure going on here, and this entire setup here is built around the idea of crush and doing a two-handed strength sword, and we only have a couple of them, and the warped blade would be one of them. This is a great crush blade. It only has a few places that it's actually useful, but this is one of those places. And then we have the Blanched Greatsword, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then we have the Queenslayer Greatsword from the first area in the game, from the first cliff that you drop off of. So very nice that this weapon you can get at the very early, and you can run with it all the way to game's end. And as you see, it does boast a pretty decent amount of damage overall. Now, you'll notice that some weapons, when they go from their regular value to an element chrome, you'll notice that this one drops half a letter value, so about a 3% on average drop in damage for a 20% increase from the ice. But then you'll notice that it also drops a full letter from D to E in dex. So sometimes it's a half step, sometimes it's a full step. For the Blanched Greatsword, unfortunately, it's a full step. So we go from an A to a B scaling. So we lose about 6% or so, but then we gain 20%. So we go down about, and this is like multiplicative kind of. So we go down about 24-25% damage going to the Blanched Greatsword. So then we recover about 20% of our damage from this being ice, and so we are out the roughly 5 to 6% of damage overall from the scaling here. So here at endgame, where scaling is actually important, it matters that you go for the highest scaling possible. If you're low level, who cares about scaling? Go for the straight up chrome variances, because scaling will not matter as much. So just a little bit of a heads up there. This is not for every sword. There are some of them. For example, the Argent Wolf brand. This also follows that same full level, or a full letter drop, so better off to not go for a element chrome on these unless it's significant. And then here, as you can see, this one's a half letter on strength, so not as rigorous of a drop there. You can see on the judgment edge, it's a full letter on strength and a half letter on dex, so careful which element chrome you choose and which sword you're going with versus what enemy you'll be going up against. So I'll do this build here two ways, just to kind of show you the power of where the power in this build is lying. And so if we go up here and get our buffs going here, now you'll notice that we have none of the speed gifts upgraded. And so if we go for a dragon lunge, you can see how slow we actually engage with that guy. Now if we bring back Eva and we actually go for our gift speeds here, and you'll notice that it's exceptionally incredible if we can actually get a there we go, and you can see that it cuts the time pretty much in half, because it's 10% times 10% times 10% between the three of those increases on reduction of frame times. So it's 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10, so 0.9 cubed basically is essentially what we are going with here. And it is very, very, very nice that we are able to reduce the startup frames on a lot of these things very, very significantly, because a lot of times that is where we actually have problems, is during the startup frames of any one of these three active sword gifts that we have here. It's really, really awful when you are thinking that you are going to be into a fight, and then all of a sudden you can't actually do anything because your entire setup here works for something completely different because of how because of what you're waiting for, and how you are anticipating going around and fighting these guys. So it is pretty impressive here how our frame time will be reduced, and how we can just go around whack-a-moling everything pretty much. And let's see here if we can get Monkey off the cliff. There we go. Oops. Okay. And you can see that Legion Punisher actually comes out very, very quick. And most of the time it does not come out quick because it has a lot of frame time startup. It has a lot of active animation frames that it also has to provide, and so it is usually very, very, very painful to use Legion Punisher. And this is one of those moments where it's actually very, very good to use Legion Punisher. And you can see there, Dragon Lunge actually comes in super handy for us during that moment in time. And let's go over here and just grab some fellas so we can get some I-Core back. And there's this guy. Okay. Whoops. And let's get some backstabs here and get that I-Core as high as we can go here. And you can see that we get the 20% increase to our damage from our ice here, simply because of the fact that we are just bringing ice along as a kind of consumable gift, whereas most of the time, right, you're supposed to be uh, using a chrome on your sword, but in this case, the chrome on the sword is a much more detriment to us than using the gift all itself. And since we are able to get a lot of ichor recovery from our weapon or our backstab, it really doesn't matter how we go about engaging these enemies. We will always have enough ichor to do whatever we need at any point in time. It just does take a little bit of effort here to get everything backstabbed up to a point where we have a good enough amount of ichor available at any one point in time. Now, these enemies coming up here, thank you to Thomas Winwood. If you see him in the comments, give him a big thank you to the community, from the community to him, as he has done an incredible job cataloging all of the HP of all enemies throughout the entire game. So the Blazing Heretics here that we're going to be going up against have about 47,500 HP that we are going to be fighting against. And so here you can very, very, very much appreciate the amount of damage that we are going to put out. And we can also go for a couple of stun cartridges, and we will be able to backstab and destroy this guy very, very easily. And you can see there that we were able to hit him pretty hard, and he's not quite dead, and we did not get our ice going here, but we are able to very, very much put a serious devastating attack set out on him, simply because of the fact that we are able to run a lot of ichor through him very, very quickly and very, very easily. Now, Eva definitely did save the day there with those with that clutch heal that she had, as we were going down pretty quickly. But at this point, it's kind of like a who cares, because we were so close to the missile here. Okay, and so these guys, as you can see, that we are not having a significant amount of ichor recovery, because we are not having blood-sucking blades or hunting feast active. And to make this a little bit more crazy, we can grab our serious ichor recovery here in this way, just with a devour, a consumable devour item there. And so this is a really fantastic way to use a strength build in such a way that typically is not the most common way that you would actually think about using it. And because we have a double sword setup here, we can use each one of these swords at different times to actually make what we are going for actually usable and possible. So it's very, very nice that we are able to destroy these things very, 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 very quickly, and we can get a bunch of ichor back, while at the same time being able to smash them, literally smash them down, just because of the fact that they are completely weak to what we are going for. Okay, let's get rid of that guy. Whoops. Okay, whoops. Okay, let's go ahead and heal, I guess. See, and because we have blood on our sword here, we also are able to get extra damage out on these folks, regardless of what we are going up against. So you'll see here during the whoops, Blazing Heretic fight. Okay, Eva just did not want me to attack that guy at all. You'll see during the Blazing Heretic fight here that we will have a little bit of a different damage set. Not that it's worse or better, it's just a little bit different in how we will go about engaging with him. No, Eva, I won't let you win. That is absolutely for sure. Okay, so let's get this going, and then we will launch this guy again and get another I-core increase there, and then we will go for just a couple of whacks here. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now this is real bad. Oops. Thanks, Eva. We're dead. We are so dead. Yep. Okay. Well, that was truly an unfortunate turn of events there, that the ghastly flesh came around the wall there and destroyed us. So obviously, you know, we do have the problems here of not having invincibility, which that's okay, but you can tell that you know, we definitely do have enough damage that we can put out on somebody if we need to. However, the problem again becomes just the amount of stamina that we have, right? As we don't have an incredible amount of stamina, but that's okay. We are able to completely wreck these folks, regardless of what kind of enemy is coming in front of us or behind us or around us, because we do have a lot of 360 type gifts with Legion Punisher, with the moveset of the weapon itself, as well as Tormenting Blast. So we are pretty well stacked all around. And you can see that this guy, because he's super weak to blood, we can completely ruin him, and our gifts of Tormenting Blast are actually, they turn the sword into a slash sword, but it is a crush sword. So kind of interesting there. Okay, let's see about this guy. And we can just slap away. And it only takes 3 hits to destroy these things, which is nice. Okay, we are just getting murked here on I-core. Okay, and I can't actually slap the thing. Okay, whatever. So let's go ahead and heal up here. Now this next place here is going to be a great place to load up on I-core. Oh. Because we are going to have several fellas here that we can engage with to make sure that we have all the damage that we are going to need as we get into the Blazing Heretic fight. And you'll see that Hasten is coming up off cooldown here shortly, and so we will be able to use that for the fight here with him. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep up on our heals, like our health, I mean, not our feet heals. Okay, let's get Hasten going. Good, and now we will be able to keep up with this fella now. And we'll get a backstab just for good measure, and then we will lay into this fella. Okay. And you can see that if we do have enough I-core running, we are completely able to destroy those guys. Okay. And you can see there that that ghastly flesh is gone, and we got a really big amount of I-core, and we did about 6918 on those ghastly flesh, and those ghastly flesh have 5,900 damage, so or hit points, and so we are right there with the amount of damage that we need to inflict in order to you know, make it a possibility there for us. Okay, and oh, okay. And let's go ahead and launch this guy. Never mind. And unfortunately that guy knocked us off the edge, so we are down here now, and we have to work with these guys. Okay, and I guess we'll head up the... We'll wait for this guy. Okay. Good. Alright, so let's go ahead and head back through a run of shame here as we got pushed off the edge. But that's okay. Now, the interesting part of the kitty fight coming up, obviously, right, is that we are not invincible, but we do have stun. So we will be able to make use of our stun cartridge here as best as we know how. And it doesn't matter which sword we use. We are able to use the warp blade just because of the fact that it does have blood on it as well. So we can get 40% increase plus the weaknesses increase to our damage from just those two buffs, and it's kind of like getting a buff for free, and the difference between damage sets for each sword is not exactly severely, depreciated, and so we are able to go about it, with no real problems here. So we'll do kind of one attack set here with the warp blade. And then we will go about it with the come on, there we go, with the other blade. Okay. Okay. So you can see that we absolutely do have the damage here. Whoops. Okay, I can't... where did she go? Whoops. Whoops. Okay. If I could see her, it would be great. Okay. And she's stunned, and then from there, obviously we would take her down and destroy her from that. So you can see that the damage is truly there. And now if we go with the Blanched Greatsword, you'll see fairly benign, same kind of a difference set here. You won't see a real drastic increase in damage or anything like that. It's going to be pretty much the same. Whoops, if I can hit her, that's always a problem. Okay. Alright, and then let's get a couple of hits here. And you can see the amount of damage that we can do incredibly well just because of the fact that we have an insane amount of ichor recovery here. It's just the understanding of the amount of time that we spend here getting damaged. Whoops. Okay. And we died once last time. Whoops, and we're dead again. And so you can see that the damage levels are roughly about the same. The problem is, again, that you are alternating back and forth between regular attacks and gift attacks, because that is where the true power of this entire setup comes from, is the fact that you do need to be casting your gifts quickly and often, but you do need the ichor required in order to pull that off. And because you are having to fight with ichor levels and everything else along the way, it makes it pretty pretty tough because you are constantly having to, you know, regenerate your stamina while at the same time, you know, understanding when to use, you know, your gifts and such. And like that, we just took it in the face. Okay. And we stopped her right in the middle of her attack there. That was pretty cool. Okay. And then, yeah, we are just a little bit over the top here for her, which is pretty awesome that that's actually the case. And so let's go again and see if we can get her stunned fairly early and get it going again. So if you want, you can even put stun weapon or a numbing mark here, and you can use that to your advantage here. And even if you wanted to, you could even go in with like full blood sacrifice and all that, right? To make sure that you have, whoops, the best chance possible. Okay, I can't hit her. Okay, let's get another, whoops. Okay, let's get this. Okay. Okay, and you can see that we're able to completely like ruin her in very, very fast quick succession here. Okay, okay, there's Eva. Okay, okay, and I can't actually manage my stamina correctly. So it's kind of interesting how you have to manage like the stamina, the stun, and everything else all at the same time. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir here at this point, but this is a fun strength kind of setup that doesn't rely on any kind of other kind of gimmicks of light values and these kinds of things. So it's kind of fun to make sure that you have those options available to you during the fight. And so if you want to go in with full gifts, you know, before the fight actually starts, you'll notice that you can get to that first stun much quicker. Okay, and just because of the fact though that whoops, you are able to get in here faster, and you'll be able to you know, put her down pretty quick here. And all of your gifts are waiting around, right? Okay. Oops. Okay. And it's... Yep. Ouch. I saw her coming and I didn't do anything. Okay. Okay. Okay, and there's the stun. Good. Okay, and let's just... Whoops. Okay, that was a serious oopsie. Whoops. And we should definitely be worried here about not having Eva along for the ride, and our Ichor is suffering, and our stamina is out. And so that's the problem with Warrior, right, is the stamina at 211. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but a lot of times those 40, 50 something around in those areas, that amount of stamina difference between this blood code and some of the other top end blood codes, you can notice it significantly in these kinds of scenarios. So anyways, it's a lot of fun to use strength in a way where it's not simply just buff stacking, but it's actually more like an interactive, like swing and then use a gift and then swing and then use another gift or something like that. Those can be a lot of fun type of interactive gameplay experiences. So if you're looking for a fun strength way to go about engaging, I mean, we are using debuffs, we're using speed, we're using dark, and we're using weapon gifts, and we're using elements. If you like hasten for having that quick mobility, I mean, getting this kind of a setup here at Quick Mobility is very, very nice, and it's a good feeling to play with Quick Mobility when you have these heavy, hard-hitting setups. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. This was Warrior. This has been me, and you guys are great. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.